Good afternoon, everybody. I hope everyone had a good weekend. It is Monday, the 29th of July, so we are almost all the way through July into August. Kids are going to be starting to get going back to school, getting school supplies and school clothes, and we're getting that much closer to the 2024 election, which alternately consumes me and drives me crazy. So one thing that I found that I'd like to share with you guys, as you can see from the title, it says Kamala is a brat, B-R-A-T, brat. And what does that mean? And I've heard this before. It's obviously a recent thing, but I found a video that would help those of us who are not Gen Zers, where this has come from. This term has come from. And thought we would discuss a little bit of it and figure out what Kamala as a brat means and why that's not a bad thing, supposedly. Brat is a compliment. So here we go. This is from a channel, news channel, News 18, from a live broadcast. So here we go. We'll stop and discuss. Lord, when I'm all flustered when I can't remember to share my screen. Okay.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context.
After Kamala Harris announced her bid for president, she reportedly raised a record-breaking $100 million in campaign funds in just 2 days. But her most culturally powerful endorsement may have come from a single tweet, as nearly all the Democrats rallied behind the vice president, offering her support in tweets and in TV interviews.
Still called a tweet on X, but Kamala Harris's most culturally, you can't quite see with my face there, but most culturally powerful endorsement is from a post. They're posts, not tweets anymore. Posts on X. Her most culturally powerful endorsement is from a post on X. Now, it's not that we haven't seen people post other candidates or, in the past on X or on Twitter, when it was Twitter, or in other social media platforms. This is a modern age. So that in itself is not the big deal. It's that it's the most culturally powerful, and that it's the word brat. So here we go to see what that means.
One unlikely voice chipped in. The British pop singer Charlie XCX. She tweeted, "Kamala is brat."
So she's not a brat. She is brat. So brat is not an adjective or adverb about how, well, gosh, it's probably both. But you don't say is brat. It is a brat. Apparently you say Kamala is brat. Like is cool or is, well, let's just watch some more and figure out what brat actually means and see if Gen Z has gone off the deep end and Kamala has kind of gone with them. Let's watch some more.
That is high praise from a musician who released an album also titled Brat last month. Brat is not just a name, it's a lifestyle, one that is inspired by excess in the rave culture.
Inspired by excess and the rave culture of the 90s. Is that what he's trying to say? Like 1990s? Oh, so rave culture, raves, drug use, loud pumping music, lots of lights flashing, colored flashing lights, and alcohol use, and raves that would just pop up here and there. And so apparently that's what we're what Brat is starting to mean. And she has been endorsed by the pop star to be called Brat. And then this happens.
The typical brat, according to Charlie's own explanation on TikTok, is just like that girl who's a little bit messy, likes to party, and maybe says some dumb things sometimes. But she is someone who feels herself and then also maybe has a breakdown in the process, but kind of parties her way through it.
Okay, wait a second. We're going to go back just a little bit. And look at this. Let's just read this again, shall we? Let's just read this again. So, as far as Gen Z has defined it, when someone is brat, apparently it's a female term. Female for a girl. Although Charlie and Kamala are both adult women. But anyway, so brat is that you're just a girl who is a little messy, likes to party, maybe says some dumb things sometimes, but who feels herself, but then also maybe has a breakdown, but parties through it. It's very honest, it's blunt, and a little bit volatile. Okay. And I'm going to go on a limb here and give my opinion that when they stated that you're just that girl, Gen Z should keep that term brat for actual young women, not women who are running for president of the United States of America. I just don't. I don't equate the two. I don't see how this is something. I mean, but this is just this music artist's opinion so far. So let's see where it goes from there. Just because Charlie's XEX is that Kamala is brat doesn't mean necessarily anything until, let's see,
parties her way through it. Perhaps most importantly, Charlie chose a neon lime backdrop for her album cover. It was both sickening and sweet at the same time because it represents both the highs of a long night out and the impending crash of a hangover. Soon after...
Okay, highs of a long night out and the crash the next day. Why are we talking about this in relation to direct correlation to a candidate for the president of the United States? Apparently this is why.
After receiving Charlie's approval, the Harris campaign's official Twitter page @KamalaHQ changed its backdrop to Brat Green.
Brat Green, because that's apparently the color of Charli XCX album entitled Brat. And Kamala HQ, the official site, has taken on that green color.
Charlie's song 365, which is an ode to bumping that, meaning beats and club drugs, is now the sound.
Beats and club drugs. Her song with the Let's Beats and Club Drugs is now what? Let's go back just a couple of seconds here. And it is what?
That, meaning beats and club drugs, is now the soundtrack to one of Harris's TikTok videos. Now,
so she's using one of Charlie XCX's songs with beats and relation to clubs and club drugs as the backdrop to one of her TikTok videos. So Kamala is espousing this whole brat definition and putting some of it to background music on a TikTok video, changing her Kamala HQ approved site to follow along those black and green colors that Charlie XCX used on her album cover. And sorry, but she's they're both grown-ass women. One is entertainment, and the other is supposed to be trying to be the leader of the free world. Let's see what the rest of some of this news report has to say.
Harris is not the first politician to ride on young people and use their celebrity status to try and court the youth vote. It is like walking a fine line between A, speaking the language of Gen Z, and grasping them for their relevance. Millennials, for example, back in the 2016 race, considered Hillary Clinton's infamous Pokemon go to the polls line as peak cringe.
Okay, Pokemon go to the polls, we thought was peak, or millennials thought that was peak cringe, meaning like ultimately like, oh gosh, I just can't. We're relating this to back to, and they said infamous, as in it was bad, and it was not a good thing to be for when Hillary Clinton used Pokemon Go, which was a game, an app that you could play on your phone or whatnot. That was very popular at the time. Pokemon go to the polls, and everyone cringed. Millennials at the time cringed. Pokemon Go was very popular with the millennials. All this, you guys, all of this super pop culture video game or music celebrity relation and relevance, trying to becoming popular and pulled into political campaigns for people who are running to be president of the United States. I think we've just gone to a different level. One could say, I suppose, that, they're keeping relevant. They're trying to stay in touch with that younger vote, like the guy said. But for the rest of us that are not Gen Zer, so for millennials, Gen Xers, and boomers, go on, and whatever. Most of them don't know what any of this means, and with this kind of explanation that I've seen here, and heard of the word brat in the past, as well as this peak cringe Pokemon Go to the polls from Hillary from 2016 even, that all makes me cringe. Because to me, it should be, a candidate should be serious, more adult-like, not adapting the colors and the lingo and reaching into the culture of a particular generation, which especially the youngest generation, when you were, it's not befitting of a presidential candidate. It's not befitting of a candidate for president. You have to be 35 or older to be president, and I just can't see why reaching all the way back to Gen Z. Yeah, they can vote, but you're reaching back to 18-year-olds, 18 to 25-year-olds who are even a little older, whose prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for decision making, is not even fully developed yet. Yes, we allow them to vote at 18, but if you're reaching into their culture and what's important to them, like they mentioned, the drugs and the beat bumping music and the raves and the rave drugs. Why she's tying herself to that, I will never know. Why anyone would, I don't know.
Last year, Taylor Swift, who is of course an icon for Gen Z voters, urged her fans to vote in the primaries. She did not say who they should vote for, but just her saying that they should go out and vote drove a huge surge in voter registrations.
Great. Using her celebrity status to get a bunch of people to register to vote, that, by saying, hey, vote in the primaries. And then people who couldn't vote in the primaries unless they actually got registered. Great. I'm all about get out the vote, get more people registered to vote. The more people in the process, the better. I'm not quite sure that that's where it all ended with Taylor Swift, and if they're going to say anything about that here, but let's watch and see.
And talking about Taylor Swift, there's been an unexpected inclusion of Swift in this campaign. J.D. Vance, who's the man hoping to be the next vice president of the United States, the man who's hoping to replace Kamala Harris, made a rather uncharitable reference to Kamala.
Yeah, an uncharitable reference. I think they're taking this a little bit of a stretch, but here we go.
And women like her, calling them cat women or cat ladies, basically women who are unmarried and who do not have children.
Obviously, Kamala Harris is married. Just because she doesn't have children and has reached a certain age does not make her a quote-unquote cat lady. If he triggered a bunch of backlash from women who don't have kids, and I understand there's a variety of reasons why women don't have kids. So not always by choice. And I think that's where some of the backlash came from. But he is most obviously not referring to those people. Was it an unfortunate thing to say? Yeah, because it really doesn't quite apply to Kamala Harris. She is married. She's not an unmarried cat lady where we think of, the single spinster at home, unmarried with 13 cats.
It immediately led to a huge backlash among women who are not mothers, and once again it brought back the focus on reproductive rights, on abortion.
Really? Cat ladies to hurting women who don't women's feelings, who, because they don't have children. And then obviously the next step has got to be reproductive rights. You guys, I I can't with all of this. Hi, Luana. I can't. Granted, there's big age group now, age gap, not huge, but a bigger age gap between Kamala and Trump. And that was not the case with Biden and Trump. But now that he has dropped out and they are all but crowning her before the DNC, even in August here in Chicago, as the Democratic candidate, there is an age gap. But by no means is Miss Harris, Vice President Harris, a Gen Zer. And to reach that far back, to make it incorporate it that much into your campaign look, and some of the ads you put out, I think it just makes you look ridiculous. It doesn't make you seem like someone you should take seriously. Someone who's to take seriously that is running for president. I think this was a really bad move on her part. Where it goes, I don't know if she's going to keep up with it. If it's just a temporary look to her campaign page, will, I guess, remain to be seen. So I think he says a little bit more. Let me go back for a couple seconds. Let me see if he says a little. Oh, no, he goes into more about Taylor Swift. So this is definitely going to be filed under my politics, as well as my lives and reaction videos. So as I've stated, I don't have all that many political videos or reaction videos in general. So I have not separated out amongst the reaction videos, anything, under politics or music separate. So look at those thumbnails, look at those descriptions before you decide to watch. I am not out to offend anyone, just putting out there what I see. Giving my opinion here and there. I try not to do too much of it, but sometimes I find things that are overwhelmingly interesting, and in this case, overwhelmingly ridiculous. And just so the rest of us who are not Gen Zers can be aware of Brat, the bratification, as that other video up here describes, and is titled, so that we all are on the same page. Yeah, learn what that word brat means and why she's taking it on, and what it means in the Gen Z culture, and we can be on a level playing field. So that is it for me. Let me reach over here. I'll unshare my screen. So that is all for me on Kamala being Brat. And I hope we all have a better understanding of what that means now. And as I look here on YouTube, there seems to be several posts on what that means, and I did list in the description the link to this video in particular. So if you want to watch the whole thing, you can go ahead and do that. But I pretty much I'm done here, and I feel like my job has been done. So until I see you guys next time on the YouTubes, whether it's about crafts, whether it's about politics, whether I'm hanging out in the backyard having coffee early in the morning or in the evening, doing some art with a friend, I will see you guys next time. And this is where I end the stream. Bye.